All right.
All right.
Ready for a new subject?
Sure.
All right. So, apparently, a protective mother decided that she was going to be proactive.
Okay.
And she was made aware that a pedophile or a convicted pedophile was living next door to her.
Okay.
And she decided that instead of having to lay awake at night worrying about this pedophile next door and the safety of her own children, she would just dispatch with him and just be done with him before anything could possibly happen.
Okay, and what exactly does dispatching of him mean?
What do you think it means?
I have a strong idea.
Mother gets off easy for killing the pedophile who lived next door.
Holy smokes. Okay.
Sarah Sands was terrified and deeply disturbed.
And shocked and outraged.
That's one thing I notice, how many people who post things on the Twitter or the Facebook or whatever, they always got to bring up the whole shock and outrage and horrified.
They love it.
They love that.
Because it's so true.
It is true.
That's why, because we make it absurd that the world is so fucked.
Yeah.
We just keep pointing it out, and we've pointed it out so much that now people see it, and they're like, yeah, this place is fucked.
Yeah. Shock and outrage. So anyway, she was deeply disturbed when she learned that she and her 5 children were living next door to a sex offender.
Oops.
Protecting her children, she picked up a kitchen knife and walked across the Canning Town estate in East London where the 77-year-old Michael Plastid, Pleasted, lived.
Okay.
She was trying just to scare him, she said.
Right.
But when he smirked at her, she was filled with mother's protective rage.
All right, now, what happened? Or did you not say that yet?
She became aware.
Okay.
I don't know how she became aware of it.
Okay.
That a sex offender lived next door to her.
Okay, but I mean, how did this smirk come about?
Well, she went over there she picked up a butcher knife or a kitchen knife or something.
Okay.
And she went over there and she probably said something to him like, don't you even think about fucking around with my kids or I'll cut your balls off or something.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Okay.
It doesn't say she said that. I'm just assuming that.
Yeah, they're just leaving that part out to try and make her look like she's innocent here.
Right.
Okay.
She was just trying to scare him.
Okay.
So she probably walked over there with a knife.
Yeah.
And said something like, don't you even think about it.
Yeah.
I know who you are. I know what you've been convicted of, blah, blah, blah. If I ever think that you're looking at my kids weird, I'm coming over here to cut your balls off.
Okay.
And he probably just smirked at her like, ha, 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 yeah, fuck off, lady.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to violate his parole.
Right. So, because he just smirked at her, she was filled with mother's protective rage.
Outrage.
Yes.
Not just rage, outrage.
Outrage. Sands, 32, stabbed Pleasant 8 times.
Jeez. Just making sure she did the job.
Right. Nicholas Cook, the judge, described it as a frenzied attack.
Wow.
She didn't run from her crimes. She didn't try to cover them up. Her confession and her remorse played a big role in her sentencing on Wednesday when she was handed just 3 years for manslaughter.
3 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
She could be out in less than 11 months.
Holy smokes.
On social media, users questioned whether the state had just condoned murder.
Right.
And whether Sands would have received a lengthier sentence had she not been a young mother. Overwhelmingly, though, Sands was hailed as a hero and brave and told fair play. She was offered support by women who said they would do exactly the same thing in her situation.
Okay.
So basically, this woman went over there and just threatened this dude.
Mm-hmm.
And
really didn't get nothing for it.
Yeah.
Killed him and didn't get shit. All right. I'm not for that personally.
Michael Plessard's long list of crimes began in 1970 and spanned 3 decades.
Yeah.
He racked up 24 convictions for child sex offenses.
Okay.
And was on bail for allegedly sexually assaulting 2 children younger than 13. The assaults were said to have taken place at the estate where Sands and her children lived.
Yeah.
It was the night of November 28th when Sands decided to confront him. Her lawyers told the court the bail decision played a role in his death.
Right.
The consequences of what followed from that decision is why we were in court today, said Sands' lawyer, Sally O'Neill.
Mm-hmm.
Sands drank 2 bottles of wine and some whiskey.
Wow.
Before grabbing a 12-inch kitchen knife and marched next door.
Wow, she got herself ready.
Right. So she got all drunked up. Closed caption television footage showed the young mother leaving her apartment at 8:30 p.m. and returning 20 minutes later with a blood-stained knife.
Wow.
And handling down his sentence Wednesday, the judge said Sands took the law into her own hands and must be held accountable.
But not real accountable.
Not real accountable.
Wow.
You were a parent placed under enormous pressure who lost control, he said. Enormous pressure.
She made that pressure.
I know. Taking these matters into consideration, but acknowledging there must be a limit on mercy when a life has been taken, I reduce the sentence upon you to one of 3.5 years of imprisonment.
Wow.
Scumbag needed to go. You just saved us a bunch of money. So as a token of, we're just going to lock you up for 11 months, okay?
Right.
Fair enough?
Wow, I am really torn on this story.
I have to sentence you for an offense of manslaughter, the unlawful taking of another life, but not for murder. It is necessary for me to stress that such a verdict would not be available to a defendant who is guilty of a considered act of taking the law into her or his own hands, or who is involved with a vigilante type conduct.
Right.
Many believe sentence was appropriate. On Twitter, supporters wrote, Sarah Sands has done the incredibly brave thing. The world has one less kitty fiddler to worry about. Hope she's treated like royalty in prison.
Wow.
Others said she committed cold-blooded murder and deserved sentencing reflecting the seriousness of her crimes.
See, I kind of feel both. I'm not upset one iota that this fucking kid toucher was killed. Not upset about that at all. Yeah, and if she'd have caught him, yeah, she shouldn't do any time.
Yeah, but she was drinking and she was fretting and getting all upset. And then she just marched over there and just said, you fuck around with my kids, I'll cut your balls off, old man. And he just probably smirked at her and just kind of laughed. And she goes, fuck you!
Exactly. And I mean, is murder that much less of an offense than fucking kid touching? I mean, in people's minds?
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, he's a piece of shit, and he needed to be fucking off the planet.
And he's got a rap sheet that dates back to the 70s.
Yeah, I mean, how did he end up living next to her?
Well, they just said that he was out on parole.
Wow. Yeah, I feel for this woman, but she should have got more time than that.
Right.
She should have got a 10 spot at least.
Yeah.
1 year.
Sands said during her trial that she was frightened
Don't you get more than 1 year for selling a certain amount of pot?
I think so.
Jesus Christ.
Her statement was, it was not how it was meant to go. He was meant to listen to me. This guy's been in and out of jail for the last 4 decades. You think he's just going to listen to a drunk mother with a knife in her hand?
Well, apparently not.
Well, it's just like, all right, I'm getting rid of your ass.
Yeah.
Getting shed of you, pal.
Jesus Christ. This is a tough one. This is a tough one because I certainly am not even the least bit upset that this guy got fucking stabbed 8 times.
Well, number one, again, and I'm not condoning murder, but number one, this guy has been convicted since the 70s.
Yeah.
Number two, he's lived into his 70s. He was 77.
Right.
And then this young mother, I'm not condoning what she did, but, this guy was at the end of his life anyway.
Yeah. But for her only to get a year.
I know. They probably, like I said, they probably just like, you know what? She did something we legally can't do.
Yeah, so they let it slide.
So we're just going to slap you on the wrist and say, oh, well, you're going to jail for this, missy. 11 months.
It's crazy.
Thank God this guy's off of our earth.
Yeah. Well, hey, good for her, I guess, because she fucking got away with murder. Literally.
She did, more or less. But again, it's just like, I guess you have to put a value on the subject she murdered, huh?
Yeah, and the value wasn't very high, about $1.
There you go.
Jeez.
And AOL Rocks does have the correct picture in the chat room, by the way.
Yeah, that guy looks like a creep.
Well, since the 70s, man.
Yeah, no shit. Wow. Wonder if he had the fucking creep van. Think he did?
I have no idea.
Probably did.
No idea. So don't fuck with these mothers, man.
Yeah, man.
They'll fuck you every which way.
With a knife.
With a knife.
That's right.
But I could just imagine she drank 2 bottles of wine and some whiskey.
See, this sounds very premeditated to me.
Yes, it sounds very premeditated to me as well.
Sounds like she was getting up the nerve to go do something.
I'm going to go over there and give him a good talking to.
Oh, that's not what she was getting up the nerve to do. She was getting up the nerve to fucking whack him.
Right.
And she went over and did it. She fucking liquored herself up and fucking went crazy.
I want this guy off of my property.
Yeah. And what makes her so sure that all he did was smirk at her?
I don't know.
That sounds a little fishy as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Went over there to straighten him out. He was just supposed to listen to me, but he smirked at me and it pissed me off.
So I stabbed him.
Yeah, so I stabbed him 11 times.
Holy fuck. Jeez.
Die, you fucking pig. Die. All right, it's time for a drink.
Yeah, man.
All right, so let's play some Wasp.
All right.
I think something from the Kill Fuck Die release would be best.
What, you? You fucking suck.
No. Well, that is a good song. I love that song.
Too.
How about Fetus?
How about both?
Or about Killing Your Pretty Face?
Kill Your Pretty Face would be the good one.
All right, let's play Kill Your Pretty Face.
All right,
so here's some Wasp exclusively here.
On your classic metal show.